Oi, oi. What's happening? We are back.
Oi, oi, oi.
We had a couple of weeks off because you know what? Life fucking happens. But you know what? We're back. I'm Charlie, aka Geek Car Comics. We've got the man with the muscles, Tom, not quite mint. Oh, and then we've got we got the man with the plan. We've got Andy. What's happening, boys? We are back.
Bald guy. Yeah.
Bald guy.
The third member of the Mitchell brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Right said Fred. You know, I'm doing fantastic. Good to have a time with you guys. It's been a while. So I'm looking forward to seeing what horrible covers you've picked. To be honest, I've missed it.
Fucking hell, here we go. Tom, how are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
All good, all good. I'm looking forward to the show. We've had a couple of weeks off, as I said. Cheers, mate. Yeah, Primani special. £10. Picked up this one. Picked up the red one as well. Yeah, I'm all good. Yeah, but let's just get this show underway. The people have waited too long for us to come back. So who we got in the chat already? We got Fuzzy Dunlop. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. We got Big Man Batman Dixon. Hey up, Fuzzy and Howdy Killers. We've got Batman Dixon again. Hiya, Tom. We've got Perpetual. Some guy called Perpetual saying you. GP Venom, easy GP. Congrats on the 50k, mate. Well done. Keep going, son. We've got Leon Russell. Evening, everyone. Welcome back, lads. Welcome. Triple G. Good evening, Peter. We have MJ Comics. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much for joining.
Hey.
Captain Comics. Jesus, they're all coming out of the woodwork tonight. What's happened? Nothing on TV.
In ages.
Did he know something that we don't know? That's the thing. They're all coming out of the woodwork today, aren't they?
UK demands treats. Hi, everyone. How we doing? So, this is the show every single Thursday. Well, for the past couple of days.
This is the show that's on
every single Thursday, apart from a couple of weeks ago. But
consistently inconsistent. Is that not what I used to say for Perpetual Comics?
Well, this is it. So do you know what? We're going to get the show underway, and it wouldn't be the same without an intro, would it? Like boom, it's the business end of the show. It's the business beginning. I haven't really been taking part for 37 weeks, so I think you never know. Maybe I might make a change and place my bets on me this week. But yeah, this is obviously the killer covers. August 30th, which was New Comic Book Day yesterday. Us three every single week pick 3 comics that we think are absolutely banging killer covers. Up first, we've got.
Start as we mean to go on, boys.
Here we go,
boy. Alice. Where did that come from? I guess Alice Never After issue number 2. I went for the cover D, the 1 in 25 by Adam Hughes. Big up to my man Adam Hughes, because I completely got this cover wrong, do you know? And we got pulled over hot coals
by Adam Hughes' wife.
Yes,
all because of League of Comic Book Geeks fucked up and told us the wrong information.
So big apologies to Mr. and Mrs. Hughes. No offense was meant, but I thought it was only right that I picked this absolutely superb banger. Lovely. 1 in 25 cover D by the fantastic Alice Never After number 2. Boom Studios, Dan Panasian, or sorry, how did we pronounce it the last time? Because I was a little bit scared.
It's Dan Panosian.
Yeah. I didn't want to be that guy who. Yeah. Can you imagine in my Scottish accent trying to say Dan Panosian? Did it work?
Yeah, but you did well.
You did.
The pause. I liked it. Good.
Thanks. But listen.
That was a chef's kiss, as you say.
Chef's kiss. A little bit. Speaking of chef's kiss, this cover. Thank you. Nice, Sagu. Alice Never After number 2. This is the cover that you want to vote for this week, guys. If you guys just want to let me know how good you think this cover is, and then we can, have a little look at yours.
I do love it, and I love the fact that she's holding hearts, because she's the Queen of Hearts. She's holding 2 actual human hearts, or are they animal hearts? Yeah, this is like when this came out for FOC, and we kind of looked at it, because there's this, and then there's the FOC reveal that came out as well. It's an awesome cover. And I think this is obviously going to tell more of the story, because obviously she's gone from wearing her white long gloves and then now covered in blood. So yeah, I'm interested in it. I can't wait. I'm a massive fan of it anyway, as you both know. So I'm looking forward to reading this. But yeah, Andy, you've got good coverage this week, mate.
Thanks very much, Tom.
I like it, to be fair. I think I like that the frame is kind of bringing the color, and it's kind of like over the top of her. It's like she's kind of and there's a bit in, I can't remember whether it's some art book. I can't remember the name of it. It's really going to annoy me, but it's quite a famous art book where they've done kind of paintings like this, where they've taken the mirror and they put it over the top of people, and then they've got color from it. So it's a really clever way of doing it. But what draws my eye to it is the detail in the dress.
Yeah.
In the black and white bit at the bottom. I really like that. I think that's quite nice. I think you've picked a good one here, mate, to be fair.
I think you have, mate. I think you have. So moving on, we've gone for yours, Tom.
Yeah, so I've gone for Distillery's The Devil's Cut issue 1, and I've gone for Becky Coulin's variant of this. I really like this because it's that kind of two-tone effect of, you know, an actual face and then what's behind the face, so the skull as well. And I liked that the skull's on white and the face is on black. I thought that was a really good way of doing it, and I quite like these monotone covers. But this was brought to my attention from Andy. Andy was said about Devil's Cut a couple of months ago, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. So I didn't think I could pick anything else other than this week, because this has not just this cover, there's a load of awesome covers, but I just really like the D. And then how everything's like kind of...
Do you now?
What?
Oh, I just realised what I said. Oh! We were talking about it before I came on the show.
For anyone that's joined Tom's PT class... If he gets you to do some funky moves, just remember Tom loves the D.
Guys, we really need to snip that. Don't snip it. You know,
that's for our Jewish community.
Jesus Christ, honestly, goodness.
Yeah, and Jesus Christ, yes, as well.
I think your cover is a fantastic pick, Tom. It's a really good pick, but it's not as good as Jock's. Just saying.
Sorry, so we're talking about Big D.
Stop.
Jock.
This is a one shot? Is this a one shot?
I think it is, mate. Yeah.
He's gone already. Yeah, but no, this is good. There are so many of them out, and the thing I like about this is that obviously the X-ray behind it.
Yes, the two-tone, isn't it? I think because that's what you would see in an X-ray, isn't it? You get flashed. That's what you get. Oh God.
When you get
flashing now.
Jesus. Yeah, so this is a good cover. This is cover C, 1 in 10, Becky Cloonan variant for the Devil's Cut issue number 1. I've gone for Alice Never After issue number 2. I've gone for cover C, which is the 1 in 10 Miguel Mercado variant cover. When this came out in FOC, we talked a lot about this because this is amazing. And the fact is that, like, when she's opened up her eye and you can see the white rabbit. After the show that we did with Dan Panosian, all these are one shot. There we go. Anyway, after we had this the show with Dan the Man, and Andy threw out his little conspiracy theory, I think this cover relates to even more of it now. So I've gone for this one. Yeah, I know it's an Alice Never After cover. I know I've kind of pulling on Andy's coattails here, but yeah, this is amazing. This this could potentially be a winner, he says.
Do we think this alludes to what we talked to Dan about the rabbit being a bit of her subconscious, and that kind of, you know, she's been lobotomized, and it's the rabbit that's getting away from her that she needs to catch to get her memory freeze back?
Maybe she's the rabbit.
Oh, maybe she is the rabbit.
I mean, I think we've got a lot of great covers out this week. I think one of them is going to definitely be a winner, and hopefully it could be mine.
I think this week you've got a strong chance, mate.
I hope so. I really do hope so. I'm going to...
Depends if Andy's bots are here or not.
I don't know. No, we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to get the poll up now because I've got a new laptop. Jesus.
All right. Sorry. No more.
Andy. Hold on. Right, Andy. Oh, Jesus.
I've typed it if you want me to just click go.
Just click go, mate. I can't do it. I went to press play and it showed all the volume and stuff, and then I had to shut it down. So just press play. The vote is live for the killer covers. So yeah, that's that. So boys, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do the pickups at the end? Do you want to have a break and do the pickups now, or do you want to get straight into the comic review? Because we did pick an amazing comic, but what do you boys want to do?
What do you want to do, Boss Man number 2?
Let's do some pickups.
Cool, let's do some pickups.
Right,
Dan and Andy, you called the shots. What you got for us?
So I have, believe it or not, I've only got 3 or 4 comics, but then I've got some.
Hold on, is it 3 or 4?
3, maybe 4, maybe 5. First one is King Kong. So this is the official adaptation of the fantasy classic, and this was released by Monster Comics. I don't know which year this is. It doesn't actually say on the thing. But yeah, I love the cover on this, so I picked this up. That was it. Next up, I love Brian Boland. I love his artwork, especially for 2000 AD. And I picked up this curiosity,
Nice.
Brian Boland's Black Book. This is issue number 1. And this was released by Eclipse Comics, sorry.
What's wrong with the character?
Listen, I've no idea what's going on with this cover or what's going on in the guts of this book. I've not looked yet, but I was sold on the fact that it was a Brian Boland book. I think this is actually quite fairly reasonably difficult to pick up as well. So I was happy to get that in the collection. Now, guys, this might be the greatest pickup that I've ever found for £1 of my money. Okay,
for £1.
Let me introduce you to Boris the Bear.
Yes. Oh, mate, Boris the Bear, that's amazing.
Boris the Bear, with a fantastic homage to the Punisher. This is issue number 13,
Boris the Bear,
and I think this is like I don't even know what year this is. I'm thinking it's like 80s something. But I found this for £1 and I could not resist. I absolutely love this. I believe this was like maybe a 13, 14 issue run. So good. I picked up another issue of it, which is issue number 14. And again, another fantastic homage cover there. So if anybody finds any Boris the Bear issues, then slip into my DMs, because I am your man to pick them up, because I found a new love for Boris the Bear comics. I think they're fantastic.
Boris the Bear.
Boris the Bear. So last but not least, this literally just arrived today all the way from Australia. And
from where?
Australia. So exactly. So there's 3 of them. There's this one, and there is this one. So these were released by Vice Press, and they are Jock letterpress collections. Cool. We've got Judge Dredd.
You've got a few of them, haven't you? Haven't you got? Yeah.
These are special, these ones, and I'll show you why they're special. So for these ones, these have been hand embellished by Jock himself. So there was only like 10 or 20 of these released. So it says that this is like one or 160 or 165, but these specifically, the hand embellished ones, there's only like 10 or 20 of those in existence.
They're amazing.
When you say hand embellished, what's
just he's done the red, so that's normally just all black and white, and on the one of the, let's see, on this one you can see he's sort of done the blood on the.
Oh wow.
So that's that one. Then there's Batman ones, which I won't go into.
Might as well.
Then, okay.
Yeah, go on. Show us that and the Dread ones. Might as well.
So these are the Dread ones. So this one is a special one, Lenny Zero. So this didn't come specifically with this set. This was a special reissue. And then you've got them here.
I like that one.
I think these are just absolutely awesome. All signed by the man himself. And I'm looking to get these framed at some point. And then the Batman one. So the Batman one is probably the most difficult one to pick up. There was only 150 150 of these made. They look like this.
Oh, mate, that's
Wow.
it.
Fuzzy said, I've got a Superman Boris homage and the one with thing on it. Great fun.
Oh, nice, mate. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look to pick some more of them up. But yeah, those 3 sets were the 3 letterpress sets that Jock done. I do have duplicates of a couple of them, but they obviously aren't hand embellished and stuff like that. So that's my pickups, guys. What were you?
Tom, what have you got, sir?
I've only got one. So I think last week or the week before, when we were last on, I said about the San Diego Comic-Con Ashcan Transformers one, and they did a black and white one that you could only get if you went to the panel.
Nice.
Oh, look at that.
It's good to see where all that eBay money is going to, isn't it? All these Transformers comics.
So only the 2. It's all I could afford. Otherwise, I'd buy more.
Are they expensive, mate? Are those ones expensive?
So I got the normal Ashcan for I think it's like £60.
Okay.
But then I obviously paid £25 shipping. But that's gone up to 190 quid now. This one I was really lucky with. I got this for 100, but it's gone up to like 400 quid now.
Are you going to get them graded?
Well, my plan is I'm hoping to hold on to them until hopefully TFCon or I forgot what it's called now. The one here in the UK in Birmingham that I go to quite a lot. They changed the name a couple of times. They used to be called Auto Assembly. So if they do one again this year, I'm hoping that Daniel Warren Johnson will get invited, because it's always just Transformer artists or Transformer writers. And I'll go get it signed and then send it off with Tim to get it CBCS. That's
nice. Yeah, love that. Absolutely love that. And boys, we better be over now because we've got the sponsoring. He's in. Hello, gentlemen. I finally managed to make a show. Well, the tail end of it. No. You're 17 minutes in. It's all right, mate. It's all right. It's all good. All good. Phil said
to James.
Yeah, massive shout out to James
with Transformers and a CGC copy. So I'm not happy with that.
So yeah, and we've got. Hold on. Wait, Transformers Con. Why have I not been to that?
Hit me up, Triple G. I'll show you where it is and what it's all about. We'll meet there. It's in Birmingham.
Oh, go for it. And then the Potsman said SMZ Comics on whatnot. We're knocking that stuff out of retail during the con. Was great stream. And then he said, I got the 2 Ben Sue covers on it and a Woman of Marvel Zulu cover.
Nice.
There we go. My pickups, literally. So I've started down a rabbit hole now. I've got my first omnibus. I picked up this Super Sun.
Nice.
Picked up for 20 quid off Facebook. Literally. Love that, really, and it's apparently, according to Tom, it's a really good story as well, mate, isn't it?
It's Super Sons is quality.
And what I really like about that is this.
Yeah, I was going to ask is what's the cover like under the dust jacket?
So it is.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward. I think I'm about 6 pages in so far, and a good little touch as well was looking inside of that.
Nice.
So
prime position for a nice wee sketch by someone.
Yes. So hopefully that might be coming to Thought Bubble with me. And then obviously I'm not sure if any of you guys knew it, but I went to AEW in Wembley Arena on Sunday night, and now I'm picking up these bad boys.
Oh, you are down the rabbit hole.
I am down the rabbit hole, picking these up, and the detailing on these is fucking awesome. The tattoos galore and everything.
So
who manufactured them? Is it Jax?
CM Punk, and it is Jax. Yeah, literally got from Amazon. They was going for like 15 quid. I picked these up before I went to the event, and now they've skyrocketed. But hey ho, that's what it is. But yeah, they're the only. Did
you buy them for your boys and then just stole them from them?
No, I purely bought them for me, and they're going nowhere near them. Absolutely nowhere near them.
You should have done an unboxing, Charlie. You should have done an unboxing hashtag.
Last time I did an unboxing, it took me 25 minutes to unbox the tape of the giant Batman. Never did it again.
No. You nearly stabbed yourself as well, if I recall.
Never did it again. No, but yeah, that was my pickups. James has just said, I've only heard great things about that indie show.
So it's amazing. It's a great show. It's a great show if you're into Transformers. They do a lot of different things. They also have like every year they'll bring along like a concept artist that originally worked on the toys. So they bring all like original prototypes and things with them. And then you've got like knockoff toys and stuff there. It's pretty cool. You get to see some great shit.
Oh, cool. Well, talking about great shit.
Oh, I'm not going.
The comic that we're reviewing this week is obviously Big Mark Millar's and Pepe Larraz's Big Game issue number 2. This came out last week, which is week number 34. This was chosen by Andy because I was we were very slapdash and didn't choose any comics to go up to the community vote on YouTube. So Andy chose this one. So Andy, it was only 3 covers out this one week, mate. We had the main cover. Oh. Yeah, we had the main cover by Pepe Larraz, cover B, which is the Pepe Larraz black and white variant cover. And we had cover C by Lionel Francis Yu, obviously written by Mark Millar, part of the Image Millar World Universe, and the art is done by Pepe Larraz. Andy, would you like to take this away, sir? Because seeing as you picked it, you've done a good one in it, and I'm interested to see what you've got to say about it, and also the people in the chat as well, if you've read it.
Indeed. So issue number 1 kind of gave us everything we anticipated we were going to get. There was going to be lots of action, lots of blood spilled, and effectively it's all of Mark Millar's, I nearly said Frank Miller there, Mark Millar's creations in this sort of, it's almost like a battle till the end. The good guys versus the bad guys. And we had the death of a fairly important character in the Millarverse, who saw their untimely demise at the end of issue number 1. I won't spoil anything from that, so I'd recommend that you go and pick up issue number 1 because we thought it was absolutely fantastic. So when we had the opportunity to read issue number 2, I was all over this, and for me, it did not disappoint. Issue 2 is always that kind of a funny issue where you're either going to love or you're going to absolutely despise it because it's went really downhill from issue number 1. There's normally a massive big build up and then it just kind of a falls. I'm going to start with the artwork on this book. I thought the artwork on this was beautiful. I thought it was stunning. I thought it really sort of it really gave a good sort of portrayal of the action that was taking place, and the actual page on the bottom left hand side there at the panel, which alluded to, which they couldn't say, but I sort of got like Superman vibes obviously from that, and it showed you know, the Daily Planet building and the fact of the phone box and stuff like that. So obviously they can't use the name and it can't be like an actual representation of the character, but we knew who they were talking about. And I just got Alex Ross vibes on that bottom left-hand panel. I thought it was kind of
100%, yeah.
So from a story perspective, I thought the story really flowed really well from issue number 1, and we effectively get more of the same. It was the bad guys, or the good guys, sort of getting together from all the characters that we've seen through the years to try and battle the villains. And how can I put this? Let's just say the villains absolutely destroyed the good guys in this issue again. And it's 2 issues in a row that we've got, and I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be like one of those shit sandwiches where you get like the villains doing well and then the good guys doing well and vice versa. But no, this was just all out carnage. And without spoiling it, the last page of this book is actually obviously for a superhero story. I kind of found it quite a tough watch when I looked at that last page, because it didn't hold anything back, and it was against a character who I knew well from various other Mark Millar comics. So it definitely hit hard for me. I thought this was an absolute banger. I was really pleased that we got the opportunity to read it, because I think this might have passed us by if we hadn't just made the decision to read this one. So for me, this was an absolute 10 out of 10 for me.
I'm going to have to follow that up, Andy. I think this is based on issue number 1 of what this was about. Like, Mark Millar's there, obviously knows what he's doing. Everyone knows it. He's got things coming out on Netflix, and things have been like auctioned and sanctioned, and it's all going to TV and stuff like that. This for me is what comics are about. This comic really grabbed me from issue number 1. I weren't too fond of when he did the Ambassadors. I kind of feel that was a bit winded, like long-winded. There were 6 issues coming out and it was all named after. I didn't really enjoy that. But then when they came into this, I just love the fact that you got the Ambassadors, the Chrononauts. Obviously, that was written by Mark Millar yonks ago with Sean Murphy doing the artwork on that. We've got the Nightclub, the vampires, the Magic Order. We've got Kingsman, Eggsy. From the film, movie, and the comic book as well. There, what is her name? Is it Mindy McCready from Kick-Ass and stuff like that? There's everyone in this, and for me, this is, if you're going to do a crossover, this is how you do it. I thought it was amazing. I thought the writing, the narrative, everything on that was on point. I think the art by Pepe Larraz was amazing. I really thought it was great. And as you mentioned, like that Superman, as we all know who he is, flying through is very Alex Ross vibes. It's wicked. The only thing is, I think is Mark Millar now just clearing all the dead wood. Like, is he getting rid of everything and like wiping the slate clean and going back and thinking, right, the Ambassadors, see you later, Chrononauts, see you later.
I think they're cannon fodder. I think he's building up to one particular character. Coming back, and that being his main, that being his Superman of the Millarverse, and I think it's probably going to be Kick-Ass. I think Kick-Ass will become the person who leads the Ambassadors. He'll join the Ambassadors, and he'll be the person who ultimately fights all the villains. That's what I think it's going to lead to.
But I just thought this was literally from the Miller World creation, all the characters we've loved and hated over the years. The one that really stands out is basically Nemesis versus everyone. He's a total badass, and it's literally, you can see this comic going from strength to strength to see how his plan's going to pan out.
Read the first, I think it's 4 issues of Nemesis of the first volume. Is some of the best comic writing that you'll read, in my personal opinion. And this first, I can only speak for myself, but the first 2 issues actually drew me to go and read Nemesis Volume 1 again, just to remind myself how good that character is. But yeah, I thought it was great.
I do have one thing, Tom, before you crack on. I think we haven't seen the character from King of Spies yet. I reckon he's going to make an appearance. That for me was one of my best books that I read last year. I thought it was great. I really loved it. And when I was going through this, obviously we've got the Kingsman. I think it's only going to be too long before the son of that, because obviously he died in the comic. I think it's only going to be a matter of time before that universe and his son make an appearance in this. But yeah, Tom, what did you think, son?
To be fair, there's not much I can add, in all fairness. I think you both have hit the nail on the head. Brilliant artwork, great story. It's just one of those books where, like you said, this is what comic books is all about for me. Picking up a comic book, reading a good story that's got great artwork, that gets you involved, gets you dragged in, you kind of want to read the next issue. It's got all of those things. So I don't want to spoil it by saying what happens or like go into too much detail, but I would recommend anyone watching or watching on the rewind is just go and read it. Go and pick it up and read it, because I went through an emotional roller coaster in this one particular issue, and I did with issue 1 as well. So I can't wait to see what they've got planned for issue 3. But I do totally agree with Andy. I think the saving grace of the whole series is going to be Kick-Ass, 100%.
Yeah, I think from the artwork. Yeah, I think from the artwork to the story, I'd give this a solid 10 out of 10. If you haven't read it yet, jump on it. As Andy said, if you haven't read Nemesis yet, jump on that, because it all kind of ties in. For me, I read The Ambassadors, didn't really enjoy it. I've jumped on this. You don't really need to know a lot about them, because it kind of gives like a little overarching image of what they are and what they're about. And you can kind of understand what they are from the 2 or 3 panels they are in this. But yeah, if you ain't reading anything at the moment, jump on and read this, because I loved it. I thought it was great.
100%. I think the thing with the Ambassadors as well is that even having read all the issues, even as spoilers, some of them are reaching their demise. You're kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
All right, move on. Who cares?
Yeah.
Are they real heroes? You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know.
But Andy, yeah, this was definitely a great pick last week for us to read this week. So nice one, mate. So that's the comic review out of the way. Moving on, we've got the final order cut-off top 3. So basically, if for new people in the chat or for old and everything, you just want to refresh. Final order cut-off FOC is the date retailers must submit their orders before publishers set their print runs. Orders must be placed before 9 p.m. for Slab Crusaders every Sunday, or they may risk being cancelled. So if you do, as Fuzzy's just said in the chat, he's still waiting on his number 1 of big games to come in. If you see any of these covers or comics on here and you think, oh, I'm just going to wait for it to come out, 9 times out of 10, you won't be able to get it. So hit up Slab Crusaders. Have a look at the FOC. You got the FOC cover pick. You got DC. You got Marvel. You've got the selection of the week. Head over there. James has got a gorgeous selection of everything you can pick up, and you can pick them up in raw, 9.8 guaranteed. There's loads of options over there, but just make sure you get over there. If you see a comic that you want, pick it up and don't leave it too late. So up first, Andy. Oh no, this was mine. Was it? Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that's for yours.
Me. Off you go.
It was yours. It was definitely yours. So yeah, this is Alice Never After issue number 3 from Boom Studios. So obviously the great Dan Panosian, Giorgio Cipolletta, and Justine Florentino had done the cover art on this beautiful book. I let this one pass me by until you'd actually mentioned it, Charlie. Really? I think this is absolutely stunning. Again, we've made it as easy as possible for you guys. So if you're watching this live or watching it the rewind, just pick up your phones, hit that QR code, and it will literally take you straight to Slab Crusaders' website for you to add this to your basket. And the beautiful thing about the website is that you can pay with Apple Pay, which makes it as easy as possible for them to take all your money. So thanks for that, James.
And another splendid thing about Slab Crusaders is that if you do have a pull list with them, you pay once the pull list has been sent through. You don't rack up like a £150 bill and think at the end of the month, oh my God, I've got to pay for all this comes. You do it as it's there, which is great.
And that's what I find really beneficial about it, is that you're kind of paying up front, so you know where you are, you can budget and stuff like that. And speaking of Fuzzy and his big game issue number 1, James, if you do have any copies of issue number 1 for Big Game, send a copy to my mate Fuzzy and add it to my bill, because the boy needs to read his issue number 1. He's been waiting long enough. So if you can do that for us, that would be great.
Cool. So I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, cool. This one. Oh.
Yeah, so I went for Plot Holes issue 2, done by Massive, but it's actually published by Whatnot now, which is by Sean Murphy, who we spotlighted a couple of weeks back. I'm really excited about this. We spoke in depth about it when it was on the show, so if you want to know a little bit more about it itself, then head over to that show. But I think everyone should be getting on Plot Holes. It sounds like it's going to be a really, really cool series and just something completely different we've not had before. So yeah, definitely worth getting on it. And
James has also just said that if you type in Killer Comic Show when you're about to check out, you get discount code for 5% off any order, any comic, and that ends at 9 p.m. on a Saturday. So yeah, jump on that.
It's probably worth mentioning as well, guys, is that I can't find anywhere cheaper to buy backed and bolded single issues.
Yes,
so
true.
The fact that James is offering the 5% on top of the cheap prices is brilliant. It
is brilliant. And who wouldn't want to read a little plot with a little Zelda on the top there?
Yo.
And there we go. And then, Andy.
I mixed mine up a little bit, guys. I think I said I was going to go for a different book, but when I was doing my thing, I've actually pre-ordered this one, so I love my Scott Young. This is Sensational She-Hulk issue number 1, obviously from Marvel Comics. There's various writers and artists on this book, because I think it's like a double story, if I remember correctly. But the most important thing is people are going to buy this for the Scott Young art.
Yeah.
And I think this is one that might have a little bit of long-term staying power, because you normally find is when these sell out, then they'll quickly double in price on the aftermarket. So I pre-ordered this one, and if you're a Scott Young fan, which I know Fuzzy definitely is, hit that QR code and get your 5% off as well.
So Fuzzy's in the show next week, and he's like, "Shit, I wish I picked that." That's your fault, mate. We've given you all the incentive. We've given you the QR code. We've given you the 5% discount. You don't even have to move to buy it, and it takes Apple Pay. James takes Apple Pay. So if you come on the show next week and say that you can't get that, I'm not going to be happy with you, mate. And there we go. And James has just said, you just know that yellow is going to pop. There we go.
So hell yeah.
Jump on that and pick them up. So yes, that's the FOC. As always, head over, scan the QR code, head over to Slab Crusaders and shop until your heart is content. There we go. So Andy,
Charlie,
yes.
Oh, I can't move the slides on because I don't have access.
Okay. Right, what I'll do it for you, mate. It's fine. So we got
somebody took the access from me.
Oh, do you know what? It's because you was off a couple
you weren't here.
And I
decided to have a day off.
But it's the Killer Indie Picks September 6th. So up first we have.
Oh, yes. We have Hunt for the Skinwalker issue number 1. I knew Tom was going to do that. This is written by Zach Thompson and art is by Valeria Burzo. And this is due September 6th in shops. Now, I did have my notes here, believe it or not. I did come prepared. And
makes a change.
Oh, wow. The little bit of blurb did say unidentified flying objects, animal mutilation. You'll like this one, Tom. Terrifying, otherworldly cryptids, countless strange phenomena. For more than 50 years, a remote ranch in the Unita Basin has been the most significant nexus for the paranormal. Inspired by one family's confrontation with unexplainable and terrifying, and what happened when they invited the largest scientific investigation of the paranormal to the ranch. This has got like a bit of an X-Files feel to it, I think.
It does. Yeah. When I was putting the Canva together for this, I was looking at. I went on to
with your eyes closed.
Onto League of Comic Books, and I said to Charlotte, I was like, "Why on earth would you name your comic book in Hunt of the Skinwalkers?" And Charlotte's like, "Clearly, they're just a bit not right in their head." And then Charlotte pointed out that the 3 figures and the 2 red dots, it looks like the Punisher skull.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does look freaky, this. Yeah, I'm definitely going to pick this up and read it. So, yeah. Next up.
There's definitely consistency when it comes to some of the indie books that I pick, which...
predictability, sorry, did you say?
Predictability, and I'm a little bit conscious that I pick all the scary horror ones.
The really dark horror ones. Next week, it's all going to be like My Little Pony.
Well, welcome to a little insight into my head. So next up is Barnstormers issue number 3. This is through Dark Horse Comics. This is written by Scott Snyder, art by Tula Lotay. And if I remind me, guys, I think this was only a 3-issue run.
Yeah.
So the synopsis for this is a high-flying World War I adventure story that's an intimate portrait of love and war, and a meditation on the dangerous level of trust required in both romance and aviation. There's nowhere left to run. With Hawk and Tilly at their absolute lowest, what will happen when they finally come face to face with the man tasked with putting an end to their high-flying adventures?
This has been great. This has been awesome.
It is superb. To be blessed with not only cover art but internal art by Tula Lotay. This is something that just needs to be seen. You know what I mean? It's absolutely fantastic.
And if you like the whole Gatsby vibe and stuff like that, and it's wicked. It's a really well written book, and it's really like the art is fantastic on it. So yeah, if you ain't picking up this,
I know Scott Schneider, he's get a bit of stick for his Batman run not being the best, but I do think he's genuinely 100% one of the best writers of the modern age.
Agreed.
100%.
Yeah,
I've got to say that. Yeah, so definitely, if you're not reading this, pick it up. And then last but not least,
we have Swan Songs issue number 3, written by W. Maxwell Prince, Felipe Andrade on artwork. We've read issue number 1. Did you guys pick up issue number 2? Did you get to read it?
Did we not review issue 2?
No, we went. It was one of the ones we picked, and we had to reschedule the show. But issue number 2 is wicked. No, I thought it was really, really good. Really, really good.
These are sort of self-contained issues with start, middle, and end.
Hit me up then, Andy. What's this one about?
I thought issue number 1 was absolutely fantastic. And do you want me to tell you what this one is about?
Yes, please.
I do. Get on with it.
Let me just get my notes. The end of the end.
Let me just get the notes.
This is called the end of the world. W. Maxwell Prince traversal into the totally terminal trudges forward with an all-star artist, Felipe Andrade, who done the Many Deaths of Layla Starr. The atomic clock hit 0 and the world has forever changed. Here, our demolished planets would be Adam and Eve trying to create a new Eden in the nuclear aftermath, but some things simply weren't meant to be. Drawn in exquisite coloured pencils, this is another of our lives' loud, lonesome swan songs.
I'm glad I didn't have to read that.
I'm looking forward to
that. Was a mouthful.
I'm trying to work out, has she got a hand on his shoulder as well, or is that her jumper?
That's her jumper.
Okay. I like.
Battle, she's got 3 hands.
I like Felipe Andrade. He obviously worked with Ram V on Layla Star.
Yeah.
So if you like that story and you like the artwork on that, you're going to love this. Issues number 1, 2, and hopefully this one.
It almost looks like the same character. It almost looks like Death, doesn't it?
It does. It does. But yeah, so we've got 3 fantastic indie picks there. So obviously this week the character spotlight we're doing is Iron Man. So let me just get the trailer for that. Hold on. No. Right, lads. So sorry. I had one job this week to do it, and I haven't uploaded it. So let's just jump straight into it. So it was going to be Iron Man, but we're going to mix it up a bit because I'm not sure if Andy, you've told anyone this, but people in the chat, this is going to be Andy's last week on the show because he's not going to be doing it anymore because he's got better things to do.
He's a busy man.
He's a busy man, and he had no idea that we were doing this. So, Andy, I do apologise if I've just shocked you up a little bit, but this is a perpetual showcase. So, Family Man first, Comic Aficionado second, Andy, aka the Oracle, aka Perpetual Comics, is one of the best guys we know. Having joined YouTube back in 2008 and Instagram in 2020, he has been part of the YouTube channels including Triple G, Scott Shelf, Attention Seeking Geek, Spine Ticks, and many, many more. From being a co-host on Panels and Pints to Not Quite Men, over the last 3 years, he has been an integral part, and the Scottish one, from the Killer Comic Show. I think we can agree on that, can't we, Tom? Yeah?
Absolutely. Vital part, mate. Absolutely vital part.
Integral. So, obviously, your first, this is going to be like, this is your life, mate. The first time you appeared on the Killer Comic Show was December 3rd, 2020, and it was episode 17. Now, this is back when the Killer Comic Show was literally just me having special guests on, and thankfully enough, you was one of the guys to come on and spend some time with me. And from then, it has totally evolved, and you've been a massive integral part of that, along with Tom. You've made this show over the last 3 years grow to what it is, grow to the fan base that we're on Instagram and stuff like that. So I just wanted to pick up on this. This was the first show where we was kind of hyping up for the King in Black. And at the end of this, we kind of showed the trailer and we got all hyped up, and then it just went downhill from there because the King in Black was absolute shit. So yeah, so that was the first time you was on the show. And then the first encounter, Tom.
My first encounter with Andy would have been, I believe, let me see if I can get this right, was on Dino's show on a Sunday night. And we all got introduced to each other, and you were on that show. And then you kindly said about how nice I was as a person, and how well Not Quite Mint was doing. And then I invited you on my show. And then it went from there, and what friendship blossomed from a beautiful person to doing all this. And actually, Not Quite Mint, although it was started off as me and Rich, and you know, we did quite a lot of stuff together. If I hadn't have transitioned into having you guys onto the show when Rich left, Not Quite Mint wouldn't have done as well as it did. So I thank Andy for my success as my comic book shop as well, because he really did help me with pushing the shop out there. He was amazing. So yeah, that was my first encounter with Andy. What about you, Charlie? When was your first encounter?
Do you know what? I think it was probably the same. It was on Comico Dino's show on a Sunday where you'd just come on and talk about comics and show what you got and stuff. And I think it was after one of the after shows, we kind of got talking, and I literally fell in love with this Scottish guy. I couldn't get enough of him. And then he was on your show, and then I was kind of looking at starting mine, so I knew full well I was going to have him on. And then Panels and Pints was created. And then I was lucky enough to be on that and stuff, but it's been great. It's been great. So yeah, the first encounter are quite similar, but it's blossomed into a friendship I absolutely cherish, and it ain't going to stop. Then we've obviously had our key episodes. So this, obviously, when the Killer Comic Show started, we kind of did have a back catalogue of creators and artists that we wanted to get on, and obviously one of the most important ones and one of the most impressive ones we wanted to get on was obviously Jock. Now, if you don't know Andy, where the fuck you been living all these years?
Exactly.
Like following us on YouTube and stuff.
How many shows have you missed?
But if you do know Andy, you'll know that he's a massive fan of Jock. So when we kind of had him on, I think I've got to say it was one of the best shows that we've done, because Andy was in his element. Jock was absolutely on stellar form, and we were lucky enough to sit there for about an hour afterwards, and Jock just showed us this unshown images of all like the Batman Dark Knight comic that he was doing, One Dark Night and stuff, and we just had a really, really good time. We had a really, really good time, and it was wicked. And as you can see from this, I think this went on for about an hour. We just sat there. I think Jock polished off nearly 2 bottles of red wine.
It was amazing.
I was about 6 or 7 beer Moretti's in, and it was just awesome.
You go through life and you kind of meet people who are amazing and stuff, and you kind of want them to be happy. This is one of those moments where I've never seen a grown man be so happy to be on a YouTube channel talking with 2 idiots and his favorite person. It was a beautiful show, and there was lots of stuff we couldn't show on the show and didn't actually happen. As it were, like before and after we had these beautiful moments with Jock, and it was just lovely to see Andy in his element, like talking to one of his favorite people. It was pretty cool, and I'm glad I was part of that moment.
Yeah. And the thing that's gone on from this is that obviously every time we go to Thought Bubble, we always bump into Jock and we always have a good time to him. And it's kind of like we've built this relationship based on Andy's knowledge and love for what he does and stuff. We've kind of built a relationship with him now, so he kind of knows who we are and we engage in conversation. But it's great, and that was one of many that we've had, and Jock was just the tip of the iceberg. We've also got the Made in Korea guys. We've got Jeremy Holt and we've got Jules Shaw. We got massively behind Made in Korea.
I could have got a better screenshot. Sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. We got massively behind Made in Korea, and we was privy to it becoming a TV show, which has now been announced. It's in the writing stages, in the script writing and stuff like that. But again, Andy, without your integral work on Instagram and talking to George and Jeremy, I don't think we would have got the guests that we've got on. So when I say you're an integral part of the show, you massively are. And I think the relationship all of us 3 have got at the moment is we're friends first, and the comics is just a segue to that. But this was another fun interview. It was great to kind of understand everything about Made in Korea and how personal it was to the 2 that actually wrote and had the artistic influence in it.
And the biggest thing for me on a lot of the shows that we've done with Andy's influence is the fact that we wouldn't have read Made in Korea if Andy hadn't have pulled it out of the indies. And then like it's one of those things, like we now read it then became our star comic book that year. And I think Layla's Star was the same. We wouldn't have read it if Andy hadn't have pulled it out and said, read this.
Yeah.
So yeah, massive, mate.
But yeah, it was great. So then we go on, we had John Boy Mayers. Now, John Boy, that was a fun one. That was a fun. He's been on the show 2 or 3 times now, and every time he was on, it was just fun. But it was just wicked. It was another one that you can kind of add to your repertoire, Andy, of helping us get on John Boy Mayers. And yeah, it was really, really enjoyable. And I think you can see from all our faces there that we all had a good time.
It was so good. It was so good, that show. And it was one of those things where I think he was so inspirational. And I think Andy said afterwards, like, we've never been on a show with people that we then get off and like, yeah, we can do anything. We can just rule the world because John Boy said we can.
And it really was, and we was lucky enough to be sent some artwork, some comics and everything signed by John Boy. So massively thanks to that. But I'm just going to stop now, Andy, because obviously Ben was part of the Killer Comic Show, so he was with you as well. And he said Andy's been an absolute credit to the show. His knowledge and work that he puts behind the scenes is amazing. He's genuinely someone who is a joy to spend time with. Take care, take your flowers, pal. But we've got loads of comments, Andy. I'm gonna fill you with them now. He says, you've killed me. I would have messaged you personally, Andy, but I hope you enjoy whatever you do next. Top man, love your work. And he said, I learned so much from Andy, both in comics and personally.
Oh, that's lovely.
Leon as Andy, you look supernaturally happy there on the previous one. Look like an advert for Diazepam. There we go. But I mean, yeah, and GP says you are going to be missed. And I think you are, because this show wouldn't be this, it won't be the same without you, but I'm sure me and Tom will try and do it as best we can. Then we go on John Jiang. This was great. This was another good one, even though we had to do 45 minutes of the show without him.
Can I just point one thing out? Or we're going on. Look at the evolution of our backgrounds. How much like better our kit is now in the back.
So much better it is. And Andy's even got he's upgraded. Look, he's painted his black. He's got new artwork and stuff. But yeah, I think it just we've put in these key episodes, Andy, just to show you how we've evolved from the show, from like where you first came up, where we had you as a guest, to where we are now. And it's just a bloody credit. It's just enjoyable doing this every single week, and to be able to share the screen with you and talk to you during the week, and share the screen with the likes of like Tom, Ben, John Jiang, John Boy Mayers. Who else we got? We've got Alan Quay. This one kind of threw the thing out the window, because he wanted to do it on a Saturday, and we were like, I don't know what we're going to do. But this was another good one. Like, you think about some of the names that we've had on there for a small little YouTube show with 841 subscribers, from what we've accomplished, and you've been part of, massively integral. Yeah, I think it's pretty. I'm proud of what we've done. I'm proud of you for being a part of it, mate. So thank you for taking that time nearly 4 years ago to come on and say you're joining. I kind of roped you in. So cheers for that, mate. What have we got next? Who have we got? Oh, here we go. Carla Cohen.
Oh, mate, Carla Cohen, yes.
I was in my highlight here. I absolutely loved it. And I think it was a really, really good show. It was a really good show. And she, like, a woman that comes on the show could have been intimidated by 3 sexy men, but she held her own.
But she only got us 3.
But she came on this show, so
but yeah, she came on the show. But I mean, again, it was just and what I've tried to do, I didn't have to scour through much of it to find you laughing and stuff like that, which I guess is a credit to us and the way that we do stuff. And hopefully you've enjoyed your 3.5 years on this show. So yeah, so Carla Cohen, just another name to add to it. And then last but not least, we got the latest one we had with Dan Panosian. Fantastic show. A lot went into this show. Like, Dan, this was the first show that we did. So in all the other shows we've done, we've just highlighted the one character, like the one artist or the one writer. We've just highlighted them, and we've done slides about them, like literally from when they started, what they got coming up, what they're working on, and so on and so forth. This one was the first show that we did, and we just incorporated Dan into our regular running of the show. So he took part in Killer Covers, he took part in the review of the comic, took part in the Indies, he took part in the FOC. It just so happened that the week he was on, everything was revolving around Dan Panosian anyway. But it was really good, and he was really happy and forthcoming. And I think Leon Russell was lucky enough to win a sketch that he'd done on the night of Alice Ever After. So again, thank you very much for that. Thank you for all the hard work you do behind the scenes. And then we've got Tom's highlight.
There's a couple of highlights. I think this is probably my favourite highlight from the whole time we've done the show over 3 years. It's getting told off for banging my bowl.
I wasn't on this show. I think I was travelling back from work, but I heard it and I watched it over and over again.
It's the funniest thing, to be honest, because like I think Andy, when he said it, you could see in his face. He was like, "Oh, I really," because Tom's sensitive. I really hope I haven't upset him. And I was then just like sat there like, just be really quiet. But it was awesome.
But yeah, if you do get to watch that back, it's the Scotty Young character profile. Have a watch it, because Andy's, I've never seen him lose his temper, but boy, he lost his temper, but was like, shut the fuck, just get rid of that fucking bowl. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. And the Poptimist has said, sad to hear you're off, mate. Not met too many from the collecting world in real life, but a pleasure to meet you at Thought Bubble, even though you are my burger. And then he said, you aren't my burger. You ate my burger. There we go.
Well, he could be his burger if he wanted.
I just thought that was his pet name for you. Like,
yeah. Andy, you are my burger.
You are my burger. And then Tom, you got another one. It's giant size shock.
Yeah, so when I revealed my giant size X-Men, it was Andy's face. It was an absolute picture, because Charlie already knew what was coming. But I showed Andy, I was like, whoa! So that's also another one of my highlights, because then it kind of, the rest of the show, every time someone was like, oh, well, we'll do this. Andy's like, yeah, but it's not going to be as good as the giant size X-Men. Like, let me show you mine. It's not going to be as good as the giant size X-Men. That's it. We closed the show down. Tom's one.
But yeah, we've had some good highlights, and mine, I think there's far too many to mention. But I think Thought Bubble 2021, I just want to give a massive shout out to you, because you kind of got me into Thought Bubble, Andy. And I think without us being friends and without you being on the show, I wouldn't have gone, because one, I didn't really know much about it. 2, I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it. And 3, it was the first time that me you, Tom, James and Sean had ever met. So I was kind of trepidatious about going. But 2021 was amazing. But last year was a massive highlight for me because I think it was like the proper year and a half that we'd done the show consistently. We'd worked so hard for it. And I think it just came to a massive head at the end last year with the big D. Yeah, with the big D. There was a lot of big D's floating around. It was Peter's birthday as well. Twice. It was his twice. I'm still waiting.
We had to wait nearly 2 hours.
Still waiting.
For a Chinese.
But yeah, there's far too many. Like if I was to cover the highlights, it would go on from when we started the show to where we are now. So I kind of just wanted to encapsulate it in 12 images that we've got here and just showing it. But Andy, mate, thanks for everything, dude. Honestly, I know you didn't know this was coming in. I know you didn't know this was going to happen. But we just kind of wanted to surprise you and give you a good little send off and say, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for being such an integral part of the show. Thank you for keeping it afloat when sometimes it looked like it was sinking. You've done splendidly, mate. Like we've got the Instagram going. You've got your own Instagram and stuff, and it's been absolutely fantastic. And I want to give you a massive shout out as well, because if I hadn't watched your video all them years ago about how to send off a CGC, I wouldn't have half of them what I have here now. So I just wanted to say thanks. Tom?
Yeah, exactly the same, mate. I just want to say I absolutely love you, mate. You are an absolute credit to this show. It's not going to be the same without you. It's been a fucking honor, an absolute honor to share the screen with you. And actually to call you a friend is an honor, considering the fact that we met during COVID and only over a screen. I actually genuinely love you, man.
Yeah. And as you can see there, we've had some good times on screen, and we're all fucking nerds and geeks at the end of the day. But most importantly, I think out of this, we're friends, and that friendship is not going anywhere. You might be leaving the show, but the friendship is here to stay, mate. So yeah. So
wow,
that's that.
Mic drop.
What can I say? No, I didn't know anything about this. You guys have known that I made the decision to step back from the show for the last couple of weeks. There's a few people in the chat that have also known that I'm close to, and to say that it wasn't an easy decision, I don't sort of gives it a good understanding. It really wasn't an easy decision. I think most importantly, it was a decision for me that I made. I wanted to go out on a high. I think the shows went from strength to strength in the 2.5-3 years that I've been involved in it. I've met you guys. I've met loads of friends in the chat as well. But I wanted to leave when there was no, I wonder if the guys have all fallen out, and I didn't want hearsay and all that BS that comes with leaving something. So I think the fact that you guys have put that together is testament to the fact that we all are in fantastic terms. There's no issues. We are still the best of friends, and we will get the opportunity to shoot the shit and have banter. And I will pop on the show now and again if I'm invited. If you still want me on the show,
that's it. I messaged Charlie. I was like, "We're doing a showcase on Andy. Can make sure he's definitely fucking gone."
Yeah, that's me definitely done. But no, I just want to take the opportunity to thank you guys and to thank everybody who's taken the opportunity to watch us, whether it be live or on the replay. And I think the most important thing, guys, is like from the 3 years that I've been doing this, there's been so much that's happened. We've got married, we've lost loved ones, we've found new friendships, we've lost friendships. This show will keep going whether or not I'm part of it or not. At least I'd like to think it did. I'd like to see more people come in and join the show as guests to give their thoughts about comics. But most important thing is, and it goes for you guys, it goes for everybody in the chat, anybody that's watching on the replay, it's just look after yourselves, look after your health and well-being, your mental health, and if anybody is struggling, then I can speak for these guys that you can reach out to either of these guys, and you can reach out to me. But that's the one thing that I've learned in life, guys, is that just make sure that you look after yourself.
And I think I think Yuko Demand sums it up here, mate. There's going to be a very big Andy-shaped hole in the show. Cheers for all the hard work, mate. It really does make KCS the premier YouTube comic show. Oh. And then Dan has also said, is there going to be obviously a leaving party at Thought Bubble?
Oh, brilliant.
Well, unfortunately, Tom isn't.
Let's have a leaving party. Tom can't come.
Tom's unfortunately not going to be making Thought Bubble, but I would say once things settle down into next year, I would say there's more than likely going to be some sort of event that the three of us will be at, and we would obviously put the open invite to everybody. We might coincide it with something to do with the Hobgoblins Hideaway if they try to have an event. But no doubt we'll raise a few beers at Thought Bubble. And yeah, guys, thanks so much. I don't know what else to say. You had me in tears as you showed the picture of my family, because that's number one.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. Family first, comics second. Talking about comics, Tom.
Ended poll. So on Andy's last show, before he goes off into the big wide world and does whatever Andy's going to do, he has come third. Yay! For the first time since we've been doing this, Andy's actually coming third. I'm pretty sure he's never come third.
Can I just put a Stewart's inquiry here, because it says Tom 20%, Andy 32%.
Oh, sorry, mate. That was me reading it backwards.
Right,
I was trying.
It's been a pleasure. Good night. God bless. Love you.
I was trying. I was trying to make sure you didn't see it. No, I've come in third, and then Andy is in second, and then for the first time, for a very long time, our Charlie is finally number one. I reckon Andy said his box over to you, Joel.
Do you know what it is though? I can't believe it. Like, after all that, this is your life, and then he has to fucking go and steal the limelight by winning cover of the week. Typical.
I would just like to take this moment. Where was I? I would just like to take this moment just to thank you all for placing your votes. And I couldn't have done it without Andy's bots. I couldn't have done it. So yet again, he's leaving his mark, and I just want to say thank you. It's been great. It's been a great 3 years, and thank you so much for making me win the second cover that I've won this year. So,
after 34 weeks.
After 34 weeks. So yeah, I'll be putting a number 2 on that.
Chance of winning it this year.
But see, the funny thing is, Andy, even though you won't be on for the rest of the year or for the rest of the shows, you could still potentially win it.
Yeah.
Because if I start coming back now, that's it. So yeah, so that's
two-horse race, and Andy's still going to win it.
That's it. That's the killer covers. And then obviously you can still find us over on Instagram.com/GeekyGuyComics and over on Twitter. Andy?
Yeah, if you want to keep up with my ramblings, and you can find me on Instagram, perpetual.comics, don't forget the dot, and on Twitter you can find me at Perpetual Comics.
Tom?
And if you're interested in following me and my antics, I am on Instagram.com, not quite mint, or Tom Malin PT for all your fitness advice.
And then obviously we have Instagram.com, the Killer Comic Show, and Twitter.com/Killer Comic Show. I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's one of the best put together Instagram accounts that I've ever been part of. I think visually it's impactful. It looks great. And yeah, I'm saying that because obviously it's our show Instagram page, but I think it looks great. And that goes to everyone in the chat that contributes to it, gets involved, reposts, shares and everything like that. So thank you very much to that. Now, the Killer Comic Show sneak peek for next week. The comics are, we've gone for The Devil's Cut, issue number 1. Oh, it's a one shot. We've gone for Plot Holes and Alice Never. We've basically gone for the 3 covers that we picked this week. We've just realised it. But yeah, they're the covers that will go up on the YouTube community channel at the end of this show. And that is it. Another show done. Andy, as I said, you're my mate through and through, and I absolutely love you. I thank you very much for all the time you've contributed on the show, behind the scenes. You've been there if I've ever needed like a shoulder to cry on or talk to and stuff like that. So that's going to continue. Just because you're not a face on the screen, that's going to continue. But yeah, I just wanted to say a massive thank you for everything you've done for the show over the last 3 years.
You're more than welcome.
I'd like to thank you for everything you've done for us as a threesome. To be fair, mate, you've done everything. You've been there for us through thick and thin. You helped me when I had a wobble when you first moved. You helped me when I had a wobble with the fire service. So yeah, man, all the love, like it's all there, mate. Don't let, yeah. There's just, yeah.
You're not getting rid of me from the chat yet.
Well, you say that now. You haven't checked your phone, have you? So you can't say
removed.
There we go. But guys, we'll be back. Me and Tom will be back next Thursday, same time, same place. It's been wicked. Enjoy the comics that you're reading. Enjoy your weekend. Have a great time. And Tom,
for the last time for Andy's ears, stay safe, stay sexy.
see you later, guys. Peace out.
See ya.
Bye.